Right now, brought to you by Ford and your North Texas Ford dealers. Ford is the best in Texas. We bring to you Dallas Cowboys Executive Vice President Stephen Jones. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, guys.
Now, I know we got plenty to talk about with the game, but I was curious if you could tell us anything more about the family caravan accident, and is everybody okay?
Yeah, first of all, everybody's going to be okay. My sister and brother are a little sore. They were in the car, and unfortunately, the safety bollard that raises to protect the stadiums around the NFL deployed right as they were going over it. It was an abrupt stop, and got their attention really good. And of course, they're really sore. My sister with ribs, and brother his neck. But I think everybody's going to be just fine.
That is wonderful to hear.
News.
And we got to protect Charlotte at all costs, right? She is a treasure.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. She's tough, though.
I'm kind of curious from the bye week, what did you feel was the most enlightening part of the cross the hall meetings that they had during that time?
I just think, the biggest thing is execution. Is we just got to continue to execute better. I think defensively, I think the big thing is the guys understanding, what Coach Zimmer's trying to accomplish and his staff. And, I think it was important that, they get their hands around that. Obviously, it's hard to have the continuity when you're missing, and no excuses here, but, we're missing a lot of starters on that side of the ball. And, you're moving guys in and out of there trying to find the best combinations. So there's definitely some inconsistency. And obviously, with what we're doing right now, I mean, we're definitely we're going through some adversity. So that part's difficult. And then, offensively is continue to, look at, trying to find our running game. I mean, that's, important that we mix that in. I thought we did a good job early, and then, we had the adversity there in the third quarter, and I think got away from it. And but we just got to continue to grind. There's 10 football games left, a lot of football left to play, and we are going to ultimately start to get healthier. And, I think we've got the right group of guys on this team that are going to continue to bust it. They showed it yesterday when they, things were looking tough. And, both offensively and defensively made plays in the fourth quarter to get us back in the game and, a chance to win it on the last drive. Unfortunately, we just didn't execute on that last drive.
Now, obviously, I think all fan bases will be in favor of better execution from their favorite team, and I understand there is 10 games left to play, a lot of football. Is there ever a thought that goes through your mind, whether it's last night's game or in between games or anything, that maybe the team just isn't good enough?
No, I mean, I just think, this team's made up of a lot of the same players that won, 12 games the 3 prior seasons. I think it's, right now we're just going through adversity. We've had more than our share of injuries. It feels like this year, especially on the defensive side of the ball, coupled, with a new staff and a new scheme. So on the defensive side, so, I do think we've got really good football players. It's a matter of getting them, executing together and getting after it. But no, I think we've got, really good football players. And at times, we've had spurts where we played well, and obviously at times we're not playing well.
I'm sure you guys will learn more as the week goes along, but do you have optimism for Micah Parsons and Deron Bland, for example, when you talk about hopefully some injured players coming back, potentially coming back this weekend?
Yeah, it's just too early to tell for this week. I mean, they're out there working as we speak, and they'll work there the first parts of the week. I mean, you want to get it to where they're practicing, and things are, where they can get out there and see how they can play and see if they're confident that they can play at the level they need to play at to have success.
Stephen, I know as part of the competition committee, we've had the question, did you get an explanation on the picked up flag from the touchdown that when the two collided in the end zone?
No, we hadn't had opportunity to get the response from the league. I mean, it was, Mike said the same thing. When you get two flags simultaneous, two people are seeing the same thing. So, that's something that they'll certainly have an answer for, I'm sure. And but it was just explained that after looking at it, they felt like they needed to pick the flags up. So part of it.
How did you feel about Dalvin Cook getting out there, and can you explain how the Rico Dowdle situation all happened?
Well, Rico just he's these flu bugs going around, and unfortunately it hit him when he woke up that morning, and it got progressively worse as the day went, and just felt like he wasn't ready to go, and we had Dalvin, who we were going with anyway, and certainly Zeke. So we were in pretty good shape there, and it was good to get Dalvin in the mix, and thought Zeke made some nice runs for us yesterday.
Now, I was curious your take on the first 7 games this season of Dak Prescott specifically, because he said in the postgame yesterday that second interception was as boneheaded of an interception as he's had, and he should have thrown it away. There's a lot that factors into quarterback play, of course, but what have you thought about Dak's play thus far this year?
Yeah, I mean, Dak's as fierce a competitor as there is. And, of course, when you're having a season like we're having right now where we're not playing to the level that we felt like we can play, then, I think all competitors push. And he's pushing to make plays, and he's obviously made some really good plays. I thought he did a great job in the fourth quarter bringing us back last night. And, he's no doubt in my mind that he's going to keep this group together, and they're going to keep working to get better and better each week. We've got a lot to work on, as Coach McCarthy says, but I just feel, like we should just keep getting better. I mean, Dak knows what it takes to win in this league. He's done it at a high level, and, right now we're going through some adversity, and we've just got to keep going to work every day.
Stephen, so far this year, the third quarter is 61-19 against you guys. Do you have thoughts on why, after halftime, it's been such a tough quarter for the Cowboys?
No, I mean, I don't have my hands around that at the moment. Obviously, that's something we'll continue to talk about. We had a really obvious to everybody, a rough third quarter last night that got us, in a position where we were, having to make a fast and furious comeback there at the end. But certainly it's a place where I know the coaching staff will flag, and we've got to be better. Both sides of the ball, moving the ball as well as getting stops.
When it comes to moving the ball, obviously offensive line is going to be a big part of that. I understand Guyton and BB are rookies, and that takes time. Have you been surprised at all by the play of Terrence Steele this year? Because it seems like it has not been up to his standard, and he talked about what a great training camp he had. What have been your thoughts about Terrence Steele's play thus far?
Yeah, I just, the offensive line, at the end of the day, it's a unique group. They got to all play together. And I think right now, with some of the newness we have with the 2 rookies, as you mentioned, Guyton and BB, coupled with, some of the moving parts we've had, having to move Tyler out one game, Terrence, certainly just getting the group in a rhythm is the important part. I know the game means a lot to Terrence. He's a grinder, and I know he'll ultimately get it right.
Are you familiar with the incident between Trevon Diggs and Mike Leslie yesterday? And if so, can you give us any feedback about that?
I'm not aware of that at all.
Okay, so Trevon Diggs comes out and talks to Mike Leslie while he's still in his pads about a tweet that he sent out asking what Trevon Diggs was doing, and he said to Mike Leslie, "You don't know ball. You can't do what I can do." Mike Leslie responds, "I'd love to talk to you about it." And Trevon Diggs walks back into the locker room and says, "You can talk about D's nuts."
Yeah. Well, I don't have anything to say because I don't know about it firsthand and not going to comment on that.
Okay, fair enough.
All right, Stephen, thank you very much for your time, man. We will get back with you next week.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.